Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think we're good. But do I sound okay?
Oh my gosh, I look so blurry and you look like so clear. Do I look blurry? Am
Yeah,
I
you do.
blurry?
Yeah, but
Good thing this
for
isn't
now.
for looks. I look like
I know.
I'm on like a flip phone.
No, I'm posting this video. I'm posting it on YouTube.
Okay, no, you're not. Do you have to give my brother's podcast a shout out
Of course.
because they're our number one they're our sponsor and our only Patreon subscriber as of right now, which is nice. And their podcast is Welcome to Struggleville, and my brother's friend Adam did the like $5 donation, which in that tier we don't even have anything available for it yet. We only have
Wow.
I just put coming soon. And so I messaged him and I was like, okay, well, you're only getting the benefits of the $3 one because the $5 one is nothing. And he was like, I just want to support you guys and I'm excited to hear.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God. Wow.
that's so
But
sweet.
their episode came out today. They're recording again, and their episode came out today. And my brother said that we were delights and that everyone should go listen.
That is so sweet.
I know.
He didn't have to lie like that.
I know. He called us they referred to us as the Hot Girl Network of Scary Stories. And that everyone should go.
If only they could see us right now.
I know. I'll just put a filter over that picture.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe we could print that out and they could have like an autographed photo of our first.
Oh, for the $5 one. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, there you go, guys. $5 tier. Everyone gets an autograph first episode photo of us.
Right. It'll be in museums.
I didn't drink wine before this because I'm going to slug this down.
So it'll take effect sooner.
I've got the nervous sweats. Peter came in when he was fixing the AirPods. I'm like, I'm so nervous. He was like, just take your shirt off. And I was like, what? He was like, just take your shirt off if you're hot. And he goes, that's what I do. I said, during Zoom meetings? He was like, minimize it. Okay, what the hell? Okay, I'm good.
I have seen an Instagram picture of Peter, or maybe it was a Instagram story or something.
Oh,
where he had a shirt on.
Oh yeah, sitting at that desk in the office or in the it's in the guest room. Yeah,
I was like, wow. No
like
dress code.
beginning quarantine, I would just when Blair was napping. So his computer is in the guest room, which is upstairs, and then all my crap is downstairs. And so in the beginning of quarantine, I would just, when Blair was napping, I would just go lay in that bed that's next to his computer and I would just like talk to him. He's like, I'm working. This is like May. He's like, I'm not going to be able to, or like April, May. He's like, I'm not going to be able to work at home like this. You can't just come in here and like talk to me. And I put his hair in a ponytail because I still haven't cut it.
Still, I was going to ask if you ever
still haven't cut it. It's gross now. It was cute before. It was kind of like, like Justin Bieber-y, but now it's just I don't like it. Unless he's like fresh out of the shower, like first thing in the morning, I'm like, good God, it looks really bad. But now he likes it and he didn't like it before.
Of course.
I can't get over the comparison in these photos. I want to look how you look. I'm going to go buy a MacBook tomorrow.
Yeah, just use Peter's card. See, and if he's listening, he'll say something
to you. Yeah. What kind of red are you drinking?
It's a Merlot.
Yeah, if you guys don't drink red wine, you can't follow us.
Right. And you should drink it cold. You should try it.
You should drink it in between.
Okay.
Not heated. Don't heat it up.
Well, see, this has been in my hands, so it's a little bit warmed up. I should get my meat thermometer. Let's see.
I was like, you're going to stick that meat thermometer in my glass? And then he was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And he licked it and then put it in my glass. Isn't that gross?
Sir, there's a virus.
Sir. Okay, what else do we want to go over? I have some little notes here, but what kind of energy drink did you get? I always like to know that.
Oh my God, what it I forgot what the brand is called. I normally get Bang energy drinks.
Yeah.
This is
What
called
flavor?
something else. I don't remember what it was, but it was called Frozen Ice, and I'm like, that
Mm,
should taste like nothing then. But it did taste like
oh,
something. It was pretty good actually.
frozen ice. Can you
Yeah.
just ice?
I hate when they don't tell you like what it's going to taste like the name, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like Star Blast. What the hell is
What was
that?
that? Yeah. I went to McDonald's at like 3 o'clock and to get a coffee, like an iced coffee. And I was so like anxious, I didn't drink it. I had so much natural energy already, I didn't even drink it. So I'm gonna save it for tomorrow morning.
Wow.
I was feeling pumped. Uh,
Yeah, I thought about drinking my energy drink earlier in the day, and I was like, no, 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 you're gonna need that later
you drank it at
because
like
you're gonna be
5?
tired. Yeah,
Is that gonna
I no, but I mean, one, I'm on sleep medication, and number two, um, I have like drank an energy drink and then took a nap before. Caffeine doesn't really
uh,
do that much for me.
yeah.
Like
But
it
sometimes
will
it
keep me
does.
awake. Yeah,
Because I can drink a coffee and then fall asleep in the morning.
yeah, me too.
Or I can drink coffee from like first thing in the morning until Blair takes a nap, and then I can take a nap after having like an entire pot of coffee. That's weird.
Yeah, I've drank a pre-workout before and then decided not to go to the gym and went back to sleep.
Yeah. We're making a lot of sacrifices for these listeners. It's going to be way past Deanna's bedtime. And Friday is my
Yes.
hair washing day, which I'm skipping. I know.
Well, you only do that like once every 2 weeks anyway, so
Yeah, but this is the day though.
maybe tomorrow morning.
That bad. And I thought this morning I was like, I'm not gonna wash my hair because I need to show Deanna like 8-day hair. It's a little fuzzy.
Okay, I don't know how you do it because let's see, I washed my hair Wednesday morning and tomorrow I'm gonna feel disgusting.
Oh, I don't feel good. I mean, I feel disgusting, but it's so much work. So if I can get away with throwing it in a ponytail or doing like a little top knot or something,
Right.
or dry shampoo, then I do it.
Well, I read some stuff about female hair loss that scared me, and I'm scared to put my hair up too much now, so I only put it up like at night when I'm about to go to bed or something like that. Like I have to
Yeah,
have my hair up when I go to bed,
I do
but
too. You know what? Did I tell you I was doing my mom's hair like back when I still did color, probably like, no, I don't know, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was foiling her hair, and there was a spot like a golf ball size that was probably only like an inch and a half long hair. And it was like right here where your ponytail goes. And I said, did you know this is there? And she felt back there and she was like, what the fuck? And was freaking out. And I said, do you sleep with your hair up? She said, yeah, I have to. And I was like, well, what do you do? She's like, I just put it in like a ponytail right here. And I was like, well, it like gave her a bald spot. So now she sleeps. I hope she does. I told her to, with just like a little side. I was like, put it down like a little side braid or something. She had a bald spot from it that had grown out, but
okay, note to self.
yeah,
I need to start
like
putting my
little
hair up right.
pigtails or something loose. Or I have those, those little cord, the like phone cord.
Yeah, that's what I
Is
have
that
in
what
my
you
hair right
use?
now for this loose
Yeah,
bun.
those are
Is
good.
that
I feel like
is that loose enough?
like, yeah, those are.
Okay.
I just think those cords in general are so much better. I know my mom was using those like black, thick, like tight.
Yeah.
I have a headache every single morning when I wake up. And I think it's either from wine or sleeping with my hair. I like to think it's from sleeping with my hair up.
Yeah,
That's what
probably.
Yeah.
I tried sleeping in like a bonnet, like a silk bonnet, but it actually stayed on my head all night, but my hair
like
like
tied around
craved.
your like
No, it was just like a headband around my head. It stayed on all night, but it made my hair look really weird, so I just put it up now. Yeah.
like flat. Like made your hair look
Yeah,
flat around your hairline.
not like around my hairline, but it was just like the way that my hair, I guess, laid all night, like against my head. It made those areas like look really weird. Yeah, I have like kind of wavy hair, so like those areas like it was like really straight in some parts and then like jagged in other parts. It was really weird. So I just do this messy bun thing now, and
But what would that headband do? What's the point? What is it supposed to do?
the headband part is to keep it on.
Keep what on?
The bonnet, I'll have to show you. I'll
Oh,
show you later.
I thought no, I need to see right now. I thought you were telling a bonnet story and then a different thing that you tried. So I was
No.
like, for.
No.
It's like a lot. It's like a whole
My
contraption.
hair's getting too long though to put in a messy bun.
Are you gonna chop it?
I've considered it, but oh no, regret it.
You should see my hair. I need to send you. I regret cutting my hair. I like it, but when I blow dry it, it's like, you know how I used to draw hair on stick figures,
Yeah.
like around like little helmet? That's what it looks like. It's so bad. It's horrible.
Yeah, I don't really want to go that short. The shortest I would go is maybe like 3 inches past my shoulder so that I could still put it up in a messy
I like
bun.
my length. I think I just need it thinned out. I need it thinned out like really bad. It's so freaking bulky.
I have the opposite problem. My hair's thin.
I want it thin. I feel it's like it's so much. It seems like so much easier to style thin.
Yeah, it is. Like if I was to straighten my hair, I could just do like 2 layers,
Yeah.
like a top and a bottom.
Yeah, I do 5.
Oh my
I chop my hair off to like save time, but it's still the same amount of hair out of my head. So it doesn't make sense to do that. I always do that. I'm like, I'm so tired of this hair, and then I chop it off and then it takes just as long. It's just shorter. It's not thinner.
Right.
Whatever. Okay.
Maybe we should like introduce ourselves and like just say a little bit about us.
Oh, I'm Candace.
Mm-hmm.
That's Deanna.
Yes, I'm Deanna.
This is No Fucking Way. We're eventually going to have a nice intro song. Hopefully,
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe a better one in a few
Oh, yeah,
months.
that's right.
Maybe not. Maybe it'll switch a couple of times until
Maybe.
feeling it, until everyone else is feeling it.
What do you do, Candace?
I am a mother.
Yes, of course, you're a great mother.
I'm not on the weekends. I'm not a mother on the weekends. On the weekends, I do hair for weddings. And now this.
Yes.
Podcast, which is all I want to do. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't really feel nervous. I mean, I was nervous off and on today, but then I came upstairs to like set everything up, and Peter came and gave me like an awkward neighbor like side hug. It was good luck, and I was like, oh my god, you're right. And then I felt so nervous.
Break a leg. Oh god.
I know. Showtime.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm a graphic designer. I currently work for a
Deanna made our
company.
logo.
Yes.
Deanna made our logo. Contact Deanna for all your logo needs.
Right.
And graphic design needs. Hopefully we're going to have cooler art coming soon.
Yeah, I definitely want to make like a banner and stuff like that. So
after the Patreon page, we have a Patreon page already. We're very on top of things. We've talked about doing a podcast, I think off and on for like 4 years. We've probably mentioned it once every couple of months for like 4 freaking years.
Yes.
And then a few weeks ago, I was like, so my brother's podcast, I'm not going to speak for you, but it inspired me to be like, this is attainable. This is not like hard. I mean, it's going to be a lot of work, but it's not difficult to do. So I messaged Deanna and I was like, let's just do it. I said, we just need a name. And then that was our only thing. We thought we needed a name first and then everything else would just flow. So, and then Deanna came up with a name. We sent like multiple names to each other. We chose No Fucking Way. And then the next day she sent me a logo. And then now we're here.
Yes.
I feel famous.
I do too. I mean, it happened so fast.
I feel different.
We're special now. We're podcasters.
If anyone's like dying to donate to us already, we have a Patreon page. patreon.com/nofuckingway. We have an Instagram, NFW podcast on Instagram. And that's it for now. But that's a lot considering we don't even have an episode posted.
But if you have any crazy stories to tell us about anything supernatural or crime related or anything like that, you can email us.
Yes.
What is the email?
nfwpodcast@gmail.com. And that's also on the Instagram, I think.
Okay, great.
You can email straight from the Instagram. So message us personal fucked up story, a fucked up story about someone else. Any story I tell from like personal friends, I think I'm gonna change the names because I have a few. But there are stories that I wouldn't want told about me. So
right.
So if I tell a story about you, I promise I'll change your name.
Change it to my name.
I'll use my old name. Yeah.
All right, do you want to go first?
Any story. I do want to go first. How do you know?
Okay, good.
You want to go last?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Perfect. I do want to go first. You know what I think of? I think of when you were like, Deanna and I have known each other since 7th grade.
Yes.
You know, if I wouldn't have failed 7th grade, we never would have been friends.
I actually thought about that the other day, and I didn't know if you would get mad if I made a reference to Candace.
I would.
So glad you failed.
I would.
7th grade.
I would get mad if you made it, but I can make it. Anyway, I skipped a lot of my first year of 7th grade, so I had to go backwards. I had to stay put.
But it was meant to be, because then you met me.
That's where I met all my friends. I don't talk to any school friends.
Really?
Yeah, from like middle school or high school. I talked to you and I talked to Kayla.
Yeah, I talked to you and I talked to Amanda, and that's pretty much
I talked to Alicia. I talked to Alicia on like social media every now and then. Mm-hmm. But that's it. I have no school friends. Do you know who I talked to yesterday?
Who?
Jordan.
No way.
You know he lives here?
No fucking way.
No. Fucking. He lives here.
I thought he was in Pennsylvania.
He was in like Illinois or something, I think, or Indiana or something. I don't know, but he messaged me and he said there's a girl that looks like you, or your twin lives in Commerce, or you have a twin in Commerce. And I talked to him for a second. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I was like, wait, Commerce, Georgia? And he said, yeah. He said she works at the bank. And I was like, that's so weird. I was like, are you in Georgia? And he said, yeah. And I was like, well, you'll have to take her photo for me. And he was like, well, no, because she works at a bank. So I'm not going to go take her photo. But he said he moved back here like 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Lady friend and all his kids. He has so many kids, I think.
Maybe he can be a guest on the pod.
Maybe. I'm sure he has some stories.
I'm sure.
Probably. Okay. So Deanna has no clue what stories I'm doing. I only told Peter. A lot of people asked, and I was like, well, because I told like a few close people about the podcast, and I was like, well, do you want to know or do you want to be surprised? And everybody wanted to be surprised. So Deanna has no idea what I'm doing either. I have some water.
Water?
Well, I told you my smoker's voice.
Yes.
Like, so
you're right.
Like, I also have a cough drop, just in case I need it. Okay, so I'm doing Death by GPS.
What? I've never heard of that.
Ever?
No.
Okay, there's not a lot of stories about it. It's not super common. I feel like maybe Google Maps and whatever fixed it as soon as probably the first person died, hopefully. Because I looked on multiple like sites and search engines and all over, and there's like the same 6 stories on every single site. So it's not very common, and there's nothing since like 2015, I think was the last one I saw. Okay, so I got a lot of this information from just like 2 different sites, globeandmail.com and methodshop.com. So basically this is terrifying to me, because if I'm lost for any amount of time, I think no one's ever going to find me again. It doesn't matter where I am. I like heavily rely on I heavily rely on two things, and it's my husband's income and GPS. I don't want to know where I would be without either one of them. It's terrifying to me. I hate it so much. I drive so much on the weekends to like hours away to like wedding venues, and like bumblefuck Georgia, like middle of nowhere, to these like cabin venues and stuff, and I'm by myself. So it's so terrifying. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I have to use GPS even when it's someplace I should know. Like,
right.
I'm just like, well, just in case, I'm not sure if I really know this road or not.
I use GPS when I drive to my parents' house. No, I know how to get there, but I just want it. I want it up. But also stuff like Waze will show there, if there's a wreck or something and you can go this way. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I go into Winder, I don't know my way around anymore. I have to like use GPS. I don't know where to go. Even though everything is one road, I still don't know where to go.
I don't either, and I live here.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Okay, so I have a few. One's kind of long, and then the other two are just like a little short and sad. Okay. But again, it's like the same 5 stories on every site. The other 2 stories were basically people whose GPS kind of like drove them into like the wrong part of town, and they got like gang violence and like drug dealing and stuff like that, which I don't really think that's like a GPS's fault. There's not a feature on GPS to like keep you out of a bad neighborhood. So I left those 2 out, not to ignore them, but I ignored them. Okay. So in March of 2011, Albert and Rita Cretchen, Albert was 59, Rita is 56, left Penticton, British Columbia in their Chevy Astro van. The couple owned an excavating business and were driving to a convention 1,200 miles away in Las Vegas. When they crossed the Idaho-Nevada border, the couple decided to check their paper map against the GPS for a shortcut to their hotel reservation in Jackpot, Nevada. If it had been July and not March, the route given would have taken the Cretchens through a beautiful canyon road with breathtaking views. Unaware the GPS would omit seasonal conditions, the system took them down a treacherous road that became impassable just 6 miles from the border. They continued to push through mud until finally they were swallowed. Their van's axle and wheels were swallowed in mud. The couple tried to dig their way out and return to the made road, but they were in too deep. They bogged down, climbed a hill, and called 911. They repeatedly reached an operator, but couldn't hold a signal long enough to establish their location. They reluctantly nestled in for their first night of sleep, trapped in their van. The Cretchens made many attempts the next morning to dig their van out of the mud, and successfully, with a small shovel, they were able to uncover the wheels and axle. However, as soon as Albert went to back them out of their predicament, the van sunk deeper into the mud hole. After a few hours, they decided to set out on foot, and they headed in what turned out to be the wrong direction and away from fully stocked cabins just 1 mile away from where their van was sunk. That could have kept them safe and warm until search parties located them, but they were unfamiliar with the area and had no idea.
Aww.
I know. Still in sight of their van, Rita's knee gave out the minute they decided to walk on foot to seek help. So Albert decided to continue alone. He took the GPS for guidance, hoping to eventually get a signal, and left Rita with the van. Right from there, I would be like, no, okay, this is over. Yeah. I'm never going to see anyone again. Okay, so that was in March, right? It's March 21st to be exact. So they stayed overnight, March 21st. Okay, get this. Rita was left alone until early May. She watched her husband walk away with their GPS, and she was there until May before she saw another human being.
She was alive?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Had walked to retrieve water or snow from her daily spot, and she said that weakness overcame her in a different way than she had experienced from days before, and she collapsed and knew it was the end. Rita said she could barely crawl back to the van, and when she did, she climbed inside and laid on the back bench and waited to die. Hours after that, and nearly 2 months later, hunters stumbled upon Rita clinging to life at the very spot that their van had been sucked in. She was rushed to a hospital in Twin Falls, Idaho, and had survived 7 weeks, rationing trail mix, candy, and fish oil capsules, and drinking melted snow.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I need to put those things in my car.
At all times, go get some snow. Put some snow in the freezer.
Some frozen ice energy drink.
Energy drinks. She was in relatively good condition considering what she had been through. She was dehydrated, malnourished, and had lost 30 pounds. That part didn't sound so bad to me. Like, I'm going to go sit in some mud with trail mix for 7 weeks and see how much weight I can lose. She says that she continuously read the Bible, wrote in her journal, and prayed. So several days had passed before their families realized that they had never made it to the convention. The couple was reported missing 11 days after they left British Columbia. Search parties were out for weeks, but with a route crossing 4 states, they didn't even know where to begin to look, and the Cretchens never told anyone the route that they planned to use. When Rita was well enough to head home, Albert was still missing. It was almost 2 years before his clothed skeleton was found.
Oh.
He was resting under a tree and had died in his sleep, and he was 7 miles. He had made it 7 miles, and so he was halfway to the town where their reservation was for their hotel. Rita says everyone's days are numbered, and she has comfort in the fact that her husband is with God. And in memoriam, she can still be seen driving the same van recovered from the Nevada wilderness.
No way.
Isn't that crazy?
I would not.
Isn't that insane?
Yes.
Oh.
I'd be getting something 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, I'd be driving anything but that van. I wouldn't be driving. I wouldn't drive.
Right.
I'd have like drivophobia. I wouldn't be going anywhere.
That is so amazing that she survived.
I know, just waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting all day, every day. Like not knowing if her husband's going to come back or if a hunter's going to come or if like I don't know, anyone. 7 weeks. I would have killed myself.
Yeah, I know, right?
And also, like, is your knee not better? Like, you're not going to go walk anywhere?
I was about to ask that. Like, why didn't she at least try to get any further? But I don't know.
But it's like, where do you even go?
Yeah.
And I definitely think probably within like, if within 24 to 48 hours, definitely 24 hours, if like Peter didn't come back, I'd be like, well, he's dead.
Yeah.
Otherwise he would have found help and someone would be here, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know. 7 weeks. She was just going to live there forever.
Yeah.
Just drinking snow.
I would have probably died already because I would have already eaten all of the trail mix and candy on day 1.
That's what I thought when I read it. And I was like, she rationed? How do you ration candy or trail mix? I was just thinking like individual pouches of trail mix from like the gas station. I'm like, those would have been gone that day.
Yeah, no.
Thinking my Albert should be coming back the next day with help. So I'm going to get a good night's sleep. Okay, this next one's like way too sad. In 2009, a 28-year-old nurse named Alicia Sanchez and her 6-year-old son Carlos set out for an overnight adventure in Death Valley, Nevada. This article said they were only lost for 5 days. Only 5 days. If I'm lost for 5 minutes in Atlanta, in the city I live in, if I'm lost for 5 minutes, I'm screaming. Yeah. I'm over and I'm having a panic attack. 5 hours, I would be going insane. 5 days? Only 5 days. After a few hours, Alicia's GPS had rerouted her down a remote road where they got a flat tire. Alicia changed, when I read that, I was like, oh, they're done for. But Alicia changed the flat tire, which I wouldn't know how to do.
Me neither.
Alicia changed the tire and left the flat one on the path. She continued navigating a 30-mile trail and wound up taking an unmarked turn where her car collapsed into an animal burrow and they were stuck. The next day, temperatures reached 119 degrees as Alicia and her son survived off of a few bottles of water, cheese sandwiches, and Pop-Tarts. At one point, Alicia climbed up a hill to get a better signal on her phone, but she was unsuccessful. Her family had received a text from her about the flat tire the day before, and having not heard from her since then, they were in touch with the Southern California Search and Rescue. 5 days later, a female ranger spotted the flat tire from the helicopter on the side of the trail and then followed Alicia's Jeep tracks. When park rangers got to the Jeep, SOS was written in medical tape on the driver's side window, and the first thing Alicia said to him was, "My baby is dead." Her 6-year-old son, Carlos, was found slumped over in the front seat, having just died 48 hours before Alicia was rescued. She was also hours away from dying herself, and they were 20 miles off, like the initial like main path that she was taking before she made whatever unmarked turn. I found the story in like 4 or 5 different places, and one place said that there was also a dog that was with them.
Oh no,
it wasn't because like a Chihuahua. But that was only in one article that I read, and it wasn't in the others. So I'm like, the dog's fine. The dog's fine. Yeah. I can handle a child dying, but if the dog died, I quit. I can't.
Well, you know, I think what we can learn from this is if you turn down a road and it's so bad that you get a flat tire, just turn around.
I only need one thing like that for me to say, okay, fuck this day. I got a flat tire, I'm going home. If there's any like little hiccup, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Everything's gonna
even if it's a dirt road, that's a red flag.
I would never drive down that with 4 spare tires in my car to drive down a dirt road. Okay, the next one is in March 2015, Iftikhar Hussain, who is 64, and his 51-year-old wife, Zora, set off from their home in Chicago to visit family in Indiana. Following the GPS in their Nissan Sentra, they approached a bridge that had been closed for repairs since 2009. So 6 years, this bridge was closed, and his GPS was still having him go that way. Despite numerous barricades, orange cones, and road closed signs, Iftikhar continued onward. Just like, what? Why? I would never do that.
No.
You just get out of your car and move the road closed signs so you can drive through. Doesn't make any. Okay, I'm not judging him, but I am.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I would just turn around.
Yeah, I would just turn around. Yeah. Iftikhar continued onward, seemingly paying more attention to the GPS instructions than the warning signs around him. The car plunged off the bridge, dropping 40 feet and bursting into flames on impact. Miraculously, Iftikhar survived the fall and was able to escape the vehicle. His wife was trapped in the wreckage. Zora was unable to get out of the car and died in the blaze.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
We'll post it because I found a picture of the car. I couldn't find a picture of the van for the Kretchen couple, but this car that fell 40 feet off this bridge, and he walked out of it. It doesn't make any sense. It's insane. And this last one, just a super cute grandma story.
Oh,
it's fine. It's fun because she was fine. In January 2013, 67-year-old Belgian woman Sabine Moreau was reported missing by her son after she had intended to travel just 40 miles to Brussels to pick up her friend, and she turned up 2 days later, 900 miles away in Croatia.
Oh my God.
I didn't even know
about stubborn.
Croatia were like close.
No.
100 miles, that's not close, but If there was a trivia question that said, can you drive from Croatia to Belgium? I would say no, but you can.
If you give me a world map and you ask me to label it, I'm not gonna know
Oh,
shit.
I
I know
guarantee
Italy because it looks like a boot.
that's it. Yeah, that's all I know too. I guarantee I'm worse than you.
We'll do a
Sabine,
test and we'll post it on the gram.
Sabine ended up making a massive detour thanks to the instructions of her GPS. She had to refuel twice, which 2 times for 900 miles. I need to look up what she was
A
driving.
Prius.
Yeah, something. A bike. She had to refuel twice, caused one minor incident, and had to sleep in the car by the side of the road during her epic 2-day journey. But she was fine. But she didn't pick her friend up. In closing, Ethan Millard, who he wrote the article that I found on theglobemail.com about Alicia Sanchez and her son, he said the advice for avoiding death by GPS is simple: to trust your gut. If a road seems go back. Search and rescue teams also recommend having updated printed off paper maps that clearly mark passable and maintain roads, which no one does that. No one prints off. When I went for my bachelorette party, like 6 years ago, it was me, my sister, my cousin, and Peter's sister, Maddie. And we went to pick up my mom, and my mom walked out like pumped. She was so excited. And she's like waving MapQuest directions as she's coming to the car. And I was like, okay, Mom. I'm like, you can just tuck those MapQuest directions in your yellow pages. We're not going to be using either. So,
right.
I mean, like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's 2014 or 15. I'm like, we all have cell phones, and we all had different providers. There was, T-Mobile, AT&T. I think my sister still had Metro, PCS, or Verizon. I'm like, we have 5 smartphones in this car. I was like, we're going to be good. I'm sure we made so many like old lady jokes to her. An hour and a half, we were going to a cabin in Tennessee, and an hour and a half before we got there, no one's phone was ringing. No one's phone. And
your mom's like, let me just pull out these directions.
This image I have of my mom, I swear to God, she like put her feet up. She was sitting up front. She put her feet up in the dash and like flicked the MapQuest directions like an old newspaper and started telling me, I was driving, started telling me how to get there the last hour of the way. If we'd be we would be a death by GPS story if she didn't have the directions. And since then, I'm like, maybe it's not such a bad idea to take, but I can't read a map, so I can read it if someone reads it to me. I can't really read a map. You see how red my face looks right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's not like lighting. That's how red my face is right now, because I just went into my bathroom and I was like, holy shit. My body's so hot. But I have self-tanner on my face too, and I just put it on like 5 hours ago, so I'm like, Deanna and I spent a lot of mid-quarantine going back and forth on self-tanners, sharing self-tanners with each other.
Right, but I did give up on that because of my epilating.
I gave up trying new ones. I'm still stuck on the one that you didn't like, the foam, the like Neutrogena foam.
Oh, you still like that one?
Yeah, I like that one the most. Even though it makes me look like this, I like it the most. My face is actually warm.
You know what? Tomorrow is going to be the last day of my 8-week like super hard training program that I did. And I was like, I should totally self-tan for my after pictures because it'll look so much better.
Oh.
So I might have to do that Sunday morning because
that's a good idea.
It's going to look so much better.
Yeah, it is. Everyone's going to want to know what you did. You can make money off that.
I could. Maybe Saturday night because I want it to be developed Sunday morning.
You don't want it to be like this.
Yeah. Well, I want it to be developed Sunday morning because in the morning you look your best because you haven't eaten yet and you're not like bloated.
Yeah. Everyone's so sexy in the morning. Also, in this closet look, I have like I have like a set of boobs.
Oh.
I feel like I could definitely cover one of those because it's kind of harsh in here, right?
I do have one boob in here, but I'm using only lamp lights right now.
There's no outlet in my closet. This closet's huge though, but there's no. Peter was in here for like 5 minutes trying to find an outlet. I'm like, there's not an outlet. It's a closet. He's like, outlets go by square footage. I said, no, they don't, because
Nobody puts an outlet in a closet unless you're having like a customized closet like Khloe Kardashian.
Right, unless you're Paris Hilton or Khloe Kardashian, who we support, you guys. Everyone needs to follow Paris Hilton right now, and everyone needs to go watch Paris Hilton's documentary that came out on her YouTube channel. If you don't support Paris Hilton, we don't want you as a follower.
That's right.
We don't want your business. I mean that.
You can still be our patron, but
you can still donate to us, but we don't want your business.
No.
We don't want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
If you're not a Paris Hilton supporter.
We're just not gonna like you. You can give us money, but we're not gonna like you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I hate you.
But like legitimately, I think people think she's just a dumb airhead, but she honestly has like a super sad story to tell.
That's exactly right. That's why everyone needs to go watch her documentary right now on her YouTube channel. Everyone. So this is your little like your little raffle. Go watch Paris Hilton's YouTube documentary. Follow us on Instagram, and then you're gonna get an autographed picture from us in the mail within the next year.
Yes. We'll have to get a professional photographer. Yeah. We need some editing. Okay, are you ready to hear?
I'm so ready. I'm like nervous for you. I feel nervous. I don't know why.
I'm so scared because after I picked this, I was like self-conscious about it. And I asked Cody, like, are you sure this is a good idea? And he's like, yeah. Like, I've heard it on other podcasts before. But I felt like it was super lame after I picked it. But I had already done all the research. So I was like, whatever.
You know what? I was going to tell you, I felt the same way because I figured out what I was going to do on Monday. So today's Friday for anyone, whatever, for everyone. On Monday, I figured out what I was going to do. And then every single day, it's not Friday. Oh, it is Friday. So every single day I was looking over it and making sure it made sense and making sure I didn't leave anything out. And so by this morning, I was like, this fucking sucks. Like I've heard the story so many times.
Yeah.
But when I told Peter about it last night, he was like, oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Good. That's right. Good.
Yeah, I think you chose a really good one because I've never heard of that either. And those are some pretty sad and scary stories.
That's crazy. It's a bummer it doesn't happen anymore and there's no more stories.
Right.
I told all the stories.
Well, I guess it's a good thing, but
right when I was gonna start, I was gonna tell you a joke. I was gonna be like, but there's no way. I tried to even do it today without laughing. I was like, there's no way I'll be able to do it. I was gonna say, I'm doing the murder of JonBenét Ramsey.
Oh my God.
Which everyone knows everything about. It's awful to say, but it's so uninteresting. I was
right, but we will be covering it in full on the next episode. I'm just kidding.
Deanna will be covering it in full.
No, we all know that Mommy Ramsey killed her, so.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, either that or the brother.
Okay, so I think the brother and then the parents covered it.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those. The parents had something to do with it, for sure.
It's a family affair. 100%. They know exactly what happened. What's your brother's name? Brock?
Yeah. Something like that.
He's a fucking weirdo.
I know.
He's a weirdo.
It's probably because of all the trauma from his sister
killing his
murdered by him.
Yeah. Oof. Anyway.
Okay, so what I'm doing...
What we're going to say about JonBenét Ramsey again.
Yeah. What I'm doing is Shadow People legend. Have you heard of that?
No.
Yeah. You haven't heard of that?
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like ghosts?
It's like that. So shadow people they're like a ghost, but they're completely black with like no features. So it's literally like a shadow. You don't see their face or anything. And sometimes they're like opaque and sometimes they're kind of like transparent.
Do you know what I just thought? Oh, and this reminded me, I have something to say. So Deanna doesn't watch movies.
No.
Deanna doesn't know any movie. So we'll see how long we can make this podcast go because all I do is watch movies and she doesn't know any references to movies. Did you ever see Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
I have seen parts of it, but I've not watched the whole thing.
Did you see the part where Demi Moore's like lover dies and these like shadow people come and take him away?
No.
Hell's demons come and take him away. It's terrifying. And I saw it when I was like 7.
Oh.
So he like fell off a building or something like that. And then all these like black, it was like a ghost outline. They came down this alley and they drug him away. They drug him to hell. It's really good. I'm gonna find that scene and send it to you.
Please do.
You should just fucking watch Ghost because it's
maybe my homework will be to watch Ghost.
You're doing a story on shadow people. You have to see them in their
all right.
You need to watch Ghost.
Okay, so the thing with shadow people is like a lot of people see them when they're having sleep paralysis. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, Cassidy says, my sister, she says that she has that.
I have it sometimes, but I haven't had it in a really long time.
I feel like when I have it, that like heavy sleep feeling, I don't feel like fear. I don't feel like scared during it.
Can you move your body?
No.
You don't feel scared though?
Well, no, I don't.
I think that means you're a demon.
Yes, because when Cassie describes the same feeling, she feels like terror, like she feels scared and uncomfortable, and I just feel like, oh, I really don't want to get up today.
Cody has it too. So like I feel super scared because I can't move. But so originally when I started to have sleep paralysis, I told one of my friends about it and she told me that I had a hag, which is supposed to be like this like kind of like demon that haunts you. So I was kind of convinced that I had a demon possession for like years. And then I finally Googled it and I found out about sleep paralysis and I was like, oh, okay, so this is kind of like a normal phenomenon that happens to people.
Did you tell that friend that?
I did not, because I wasn't friends with her anymore at that point.
Oh. Because she scared you so bad?
Yeah, I was like, oh, forget her. So I figured it out that I had sleep paralysis, and now, so if you have sleep paralysis, please keep this in mind. If you just relax, it'll go away faster. The more you try to move, the more you tense up, the more you try to scream, it's going to last way longer. So just try to relax and your body will eventually come out of it. So for people who don't know what sleep paralysis is, it's basically when your mind like wakes up, but your body doesn't. So you can't move your body, you can't scream or anything. And it can be terrifying. And some people have hallucinations, which kind of plays into the shadow people thing. Sometimes people see shadow people, which is like, just a silhouette of a person. And a lot of people see a shadow of a man with like a large hat. And that's what a lot of people report when they see shadow people. So some people believe that shadow people are menacing, while others believe that they're helpful guides or they're neutral. And also some believe that they may be inhabitants of another universe, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Like aliens.
Something like that, or like, there's some people who think that there's like another dimension where people go maybe when they die, or maybe those people can come here, which I can't even comprehend. I can barely comprehend space. I can't even.
I can barely comprehend other humans. Don't get me started on space.
I know.
I don't understand space at all.
We should speak with Elon Musk about going into space so we can better understand.
Brian Simmons, he's like super into space. And I ask him all these questions about it all the time. And he's like, I'm going to start texting you like space fact a day. which that lasted for like 2 days, which it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like super into space. I don't understand. I'll never comprehend. I don't get it.
I can't I can't even think about it.
And when he was texting me random facts, it was only like confusing me more.
Yeah.
Awful.
So some kind of like scientific explanations to kind of explain away seeing shadow people is sleep deprivation or having sleep paralysis. And many methamphetamine users report seeing shadow people after having like periods of sleep deprivation. So don't do meth. And if you want to prevent sleep paralysis, don't sleep on your back. And I have to drink some wine because I have
sleeping on your back. So one of my friends is pregnant, and she was texting me today, and she was like, did you wake up a lot when you were pregnant sleeping? And I said, yeah, because I was sleeping on my back. And I felt like sleeping on your back feels like you're in an open casket funeral, like in a coffin. Who sleeps on their back?
I can't. I have to sleep on my side.
It was miserable. The last like 5 months I was pregnant, I could only sleep on my back.
Remember when you were talking about trying to convince me to get pregnant?
That was just like a week ago.
Right.
That wasn't like years ago. I still want you to. I'm going to stop negative things about pregnancy. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that I'm telling you the truth.
No, I appreciate the truth.
No, please have a baby.
Just bring Blair to us.
Yeah, okay. No, because then you won't want one.
Exactly.
When I told Peter that Cody said he could take it or leave it, Peter was like, that should be a hard no.
That's kind of what I thought.
Well, he asked me about it the other night. He was like, are they having a baby? And I was like, I don't know. And then I told him what you said Cody said, and he was like, tell them no in that case.
So here's the thing about him. He's like so in the middle. So he talked to me for weeks about like this Sasquatch podcast that he was listening to, and it sounded like he was really convinced that Sasquatch exists. And then I asked him, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I always make him do this, on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 being you don't believe at all and 10 being 100% you believe, where are you at with the Sasquatch? And he's like a 4 or 5. And I'm like,
oh, that's not believable.
So when he brought up having a baby, I was like, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, like where are you at on having a baby? And I thought he was going to be on the higher end, and he was like a 5.
Bad.
Yeah, no. So I don't know.
I was at a 5 when we were trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, let's try, but let's not try too much. It's scary, but it's great. You should do it.
Yeah, you're like.
Look, she's asleep right now. Look how peaceful my house is.
You're in your closet.
I should spend more time in here, honestly. It's like she's not even here.
I know.
Oh, she's a sweet little terrorist.
All right, so I have a couple shadow people stories. They're actually from the same person. So I mentioned that some shadow people, or some people believe that shadow people can be good, and then some people believe that shadow people are evil. So this person actually has 2 different experiences with different shadow people, but one is kind of good and one is bad. So this is from Reddit user KJS0223. So thank you very much for your contribution that you don't know about.
Thank you, KJS. Too.
That's right. So this person writes, it was roughly 8:30 a.m. in August of 2014. I remember it because it was a day before a friend and I were going up to the mountains for a camping trip. I had the day off, and as I had the day off as we were going to go out and get the last few things we'd need, get all packed up, and then have a barbecue before calling it a night. I was sitting on my bed, fooling around on my guitar, waiting to hear from him so we could run our errands. My dad was the only other person home at the time and was in the shower getting ready for work. It was a sunny morning, so the entire upstairs hallway along with my room were well lit. As I was playing, I felt that somebody was watching me. I could hear the shower still running, and I knew for a fact my siblings were both gone for the entire week. There was nothing anywhere in sight. I go back to riffing around, and a minute later, the feeling was still there. I scanned the room, and boom, there it was. Leaning in the hall, one hand on the side of the doorway, the other arm dangling down the side of its half-exposed torso, was a roughly 6 foot tall silhouette of a person.
Oh
I know.
my gosh.
I would pee myself right then and there.
God.
It was about 75% opaque, and 1 foot was in view. The rest was behind the wall, still in the hallway. It had no discernible features, yet I know that we had made eye contact. First of all, the fact that it has no features,
It's enough. Yeah.
I would be done. So this went on for what felt like 30 seconds, but in reality, it was probably about 10 seconds.
30 seconds?
That's what it felt like to him, but he said it was probably like 10 seconds. Neither of us moved for the duration. The only sound was my dad's shower. I felt an incredible sense of calm come over me. The shadow gave off a sense of curiosity, nothing malicious, nothing intrusive. Nothing was going through my mind other than wanting to communicate with it somehow. Instead, I kept silent, feeling that if I made a noise, it would leave. This sounds odd, but without verbally or physically communicating, it acknowledged me and I acknowledged it. Then it took its hand off of the doorway, turned, and walked down the hall. I wasn't like paralyzed in fear or anything, but I gave it about 5 seconds before I got up and checked the hall, which of course was empty. I felt like it was just checking up on me, and I can't stress enough how serene the whole encounter was. I was completely calm at total peace in those moments. Can you imagine feeling total peace seeing a 6 foot tall shadow?
Completely calm and total peace. I would be the complete fucking opposite. I would be completely running down my stairs out the front door.
I think I would be passed away on my bed.
She's passed away.
I don't know, I would have a heart attack or a stroke or something.
Oh my God. Hell no.
Okay, so this person had another encounter actually, which was in October of 2014, which I think the first one also occurred in 2014, but he didn't say, oh, it was August. So this was a couple months later. He said encounter 2 took place sometime in October of 2014 at my friend's house. He and I were just getting home from the gym and came through his back door. This was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon in his well-lit dining area, and we were the only ones home. He had just a few weeks prior woken up to his 14-year-old dog floating lifeless in the pool, which I think is relevant to this situation. I'm so sorry, Candace.
No. Take that out.
Yeah. We walked in mid-conversation, put our keys and wallets down on the kitchen counter, and just both stopped talking. I don't know how, but we both had a sense that something wasn't right. As we walked into the adjoining dining room, we both saw it, a roughly 8 foot tall, completely opaque silhouette of a man wearing a classic looking top hat and a trench coat. This thing was different from my first encounter. It not only obstructed the light where it stood, but it seemed to consume it. Its height estimate I gave doesn't account for the hat, and this thing was truly massive. The room was ice cold, and an instant sense of dread filled the air. This one, too, had no discernible features aside from the hat and the coat outline, but we both were locked in its gaze. The encounter went on for about 5 seconds, and then the being floated a foot or so off the ground and vanished before our eyes.
No.
Once we checked the whole house and collected ourselves, we sat down and confirmed that we both saw what we saw and felt what we felt. This felt ominous. This felt like a warning. which I've read that the Hat Man can often be. So, side note, a lot of people see the shadow people with a hat and they refer to it as the Hat Man. So nothing happened to either of them in the immediate future. But he says, I can't get over the feeling of dread in that room, though. It was as if the entirety of human suffering was encapsulated into a corporeal form and placed in front of us. It felt like it was amplifying our negative emotions at the time. My friend, my friend's grief over having to pull his limp, lifeless dog from his pole a few weeks
Ugh,
prior.
stop.
And for me, my
She does that to a
depression.
cat.
I know. I'm sad about it. I love dogs.
Oh no.
And um let's see. It thrived off of those negative feelings. Nothing physically happened to either of us, but we both had the feeling that it wanted to if it could have touched us. We both felt completely drained once it had dissipated and couldn't shake the sense of sadness for a while. My friend had never experienced anything paranormal, so this shook him to his core. It took a while for him to get over it, and I was more just curious afterwards. Why did this happen so closely to my other encounter? And why was it so drastically different? I can't answer these questions, but in the years since, I have been engrossed in learning all I can about shadow people. So I actually kind of have like a personal story about this. Um,
So the difference in shadow people and like ghost or spirits is nothing, right?
well,
No.
shadow people seem to appear completely black, whereas ghosts, they seem to appear, I guess,
Oh,
I mean,
like
I've
a
always heard of them like
person.
white or, yeah, like you can see their features, you can see
Oh
their
yeah,
face
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
So shadow people, you can't see like any of their features. And a lot of what I read said that they do feed off like your emotions. They feed off like negative emotions that you have.
Yeah.
Um, and it can be really scary. But when I was like probably 5 years old, my parents were gone for the day, and my sister and I were at home. My sister's like older than I am, probably, let's see, like probably 8 years older than me. And I told her that I saw a man outside on our porch. So my recollection is like I looked outside of our window and our porch is right there,
Hmm.
and I saw this man crouching down and he was wearing a hat and he was wearing all black, and I don't remember his face or anything, but I do remember there was like a I thought there was a dog with him. But we might get into this too because I'm super into false memories. So I have no idea if this is like a true thing or
Yes.
not.
Like how often you think, like every time you think of a story or tell someone a story, it changes, and then
Right, yeah.
a
Because I
100. I feel like every story in my head is a fucking false.
yes. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know what's real.
I've just overthunk something.
I
Overthunk.
always like preface stories from like my childhood with like, I'm not really sure if this is real.
But this is what's in my head,
Yeah.
so that's what I tell you.
Yeah. I told Cody
Exactly.
last night, I was like, I don't remember if there was a dog or if I made that up later or if it was part of a dream. But anyway, so I asked my sister about it last night because I asked her if she saw it and did she remember if there were any features that she could see, because I was trying to figure out if it was a shadow person.
Yeah.
And she said she remembered it being like a thin person and that it looked old. So I think she might have seen its face. So I'm not sure if it was an actual real person or if it was some kind of entity. She said she remembers it a little, I guess, more clearly than I do, but I don't remember a face at all.
Well, did it? I
But
mean, obviously, it eventually went away. Did it just like?
yeah, so we don't know. I don't think we watched it, but I think like we kind of like looked out and it was there, and then
Oh
we
my
looked out
gosh.
again and it was gone. But
Woo!
my uncle lived behind us, and she contacted him to let him know because like our parents weren't home. So she was like, there's like a guy on our porch. So I don't remember him coming or anything, but Maybe I was so traumatized from seeing a man in all black on my porch.
Yeah. And probably with an older sister, you're just going off. You don't know what you saw as like a 5-year-old. So you're going off
Right.
thing your like older sister said she saw and her experience with it.
Yeah.
It's terrifying though.
I know, it's super scary.
There was one night a few years ago, probably like 5 years ago, me and my sister and my cousin all dreamt in the same night about our grandmother who passed away, my dad's mom.
Oh
I
my God.
I texted my sister one morning when I woke up and I said, we called her Nana. I was like, Nana, like, sat on the edge of my bed last night. I just texted her that sentence. I was like, I know I sound like a fucking lunatic. I said, but she sat on the edge of my bed last night. And I don't remember what she said, but it was so vivid. Like I felt like I was wide awake. And I texted that to my sister and she called me crying. She didn't even respond to the text. She called me crying and she was like, "Oh my God." She said, I had the exact same, thing happen to me. And so I just felt so like emotional about it. So I texted my cousin who was like more close to her than me and my sister. And I just told her what was happening. And she said the exact same thing happened to her. Isn't that
Oh my God, that's crazy.
and then I don't know, I felt so uh, emotional about it, so I just stopped talking to both of them. I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this. If it's real, I can't deal with it. So I just stopped texting them back, but it was too much. And then we tried to tell my dad about it, who it's his mom, and he was like, nope. He's like, I don't want to hear it.
Do you think he believes in anything like that?
I do. I think he's scared too. Cassidy and I have talked multiple times about going to like a medium or something to like talk
Mm-hmm.
to her. And my brother doesn't really like to talk about her that much at all because so him and my cousin are the same age. They're both like 2 or 3 years older, so they were closer to her. And my sister wasn't close with her really at all because she was so young when she died. But my sister and my brother's not into like medium, paranormal, psychic situations, I don't think. So me and my sister have talked multiple times about going to a medium for years. I mean, she died when I was like a junior in high school. So we
Mm-hmm.
talked about it for years and I can't get I don't know, I just can't get the strength to go because I do believe in it. Like I truly do. I believe in all that shit. So to go, it seems like kind of like a final answer, you know? Like I don't want to go, but I do want to go.
I don't think it's final. I think that it could open more lines of communication for you.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it too, but I'm wary of like fake mediums. You know what I'm saying?
So my friend, I don't want to say her name because it was like very traumatic for her, but my photographer friend who
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
talked to my baby shower that went and saw that medium who was also a
Mm-hmm.
photographer, and she told her all of this horrific shit about her grandfather molested her dad and molested all these family members, and it was just she found this all out like weeks before her wedding, and then she was in a horrific car accident like 5 days before her wedding. She had a experience with that one. I don't want to go and find out some like traumatic, horrible, like devastating shit. But if it's true, then I do want to know. And what she found out was true, you know?
Yeah, and I actually made an appointment with that person. Then I
Mm-hmm.
canceled it because I wanted to talk to my
Yeah.
sister,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I canceled it because I got nervous.
Yeah. It's
And I don't
scary. It's
I
really
actually don't think she
scary.
does it anymore.
I don't think she does either. I know her what like photography page is still up because I follow her on my wedding page, but I haven't
Hmm.
seen. I don't know. I'm gonna look. She shouldn't do it anymore.
No, I don't think she does. And I know someone, I don't remember if I told you about this or not, but I know someone who actually
Your
did.
coworker. Didn't you have a coworker that went with her? An
No, no,
appointment?
no, no. She wasn't a coworker. She was someone I went to high school with. I mean, I think we worked at
Oh,
Ingles together a long time
with
ago,
the
but
son. She said something about her son.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to be in the right mindset to get information like that from someone. For someone to say,
Right.
oh, your loved one is here with me and this is what they say, I don't think you can retrieve that kind of information at just any given time throughout the day. I think you need to be in the right headspace and ready, because if they're right, then
But see, I'm so untrusting that if they were just like, your sister is here with me and she says she loves you and she supports all of your decisions,
yeah.
I'd be like, I mean, that's probably true, but I don't
But if
know if I
she's
believe
like,
you.
your sister is here with me and she knows that shirt you have on was hers and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is way different.
That's true.
I was trying to tell my brother's friend that he does the podcast with, Adam. Because he doesn't believe in, I hate him. I don't hate him, but I hate him. He doesn't believe in like zodiacs. He doesn't believe in mediums, psychics, anything like that. And it blows my mind. And so I told him last January, I went to a medium or a psychic. I'm not positive of the difference, but she was a psychic, I think. And she told me in order, she was like, your husband is going to get a promotion. You're going to close on a new house before you go on a big trip. And you're going to have a baby at the end of the year. I was like, okay. Okay, lady. All 4 of those things happen in that order. And so ever since then, I'm like, okay, I was a believer before that. Like, my husband got a promotion, we closed on a house, and we went on this big trip that wasn't planned in January. We planned it way later in the spring, and then I had a baby. So to me, and he's like, well, she knew all those things about you. I didn't tell her anything about myself.
Right.
I believe in everything because we don't know anything.
Right.
There's so much stuff in the world, so I believe in everything. Everything's true.
But I've had experiences where I feel like I was told something about, my future or something that was going to happen and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
from what, like a fortune cookie?
Yeah. No.
I don't believe in fortune cookies. I take back what I just said. I don't believe in fortune cookies.
I don't either, because you have to eat it for it to come true and they're disgusting.
Oh my God. Is that true?
That's what I've heard.
I've never eaten one in my life.
I'm super gullible, so somebody probably just told me that and I believe them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, are you serious?
But I'll also read my zodiac sign, my horoscope, his zodiac sign, horoscope, and I'm like, oh wow, I'll make my life relate to everything that it says rather than reading and being like, that doesn't make sense. I'll take things and place them until it makes sense. Because I believe that more than I believe my own everyday life.
I know, right? So I'm gonna look up my horoscope for today.
Oh yeah, read our horoscopes. Read our horoscopes as a closer.
Okay.
This can be our thing.
I'm a Sagittarius, so.
Oh yeah. I looked that up before, a week ago I did. I don't know why. I was trying to do some voodoo on you. It didn't work.
Please make it good. I need a new job. So if anyone listening can please put out some good vibes for me getting a new job.
Yeah, good vibes, good juju. Deanna's trying to.
Okay, so
being a famous podcaster, she's trying to get a new job.
That's right. My horoscope today says, endurance isn't always fun. Staying with something or someone until it's over isn't quite as enjoyable as sticking with something or someone because they truly fulfill you and make you happy. Unfortunately, when something important is at stake, you have to forego the fun and hang in there. Right now, your options are limited, and your determination will force you to do the right thing. Focus on making things last. Later, you can figure out how to make them fun.
Focus on making this podcast last.
Yes.
Later, we're going to make it fun. So if you're a Sagittarius, that's your life.
I kind of relate to this with that fucking program I'm doing because
Oh, your workout thing?
it's been really hard. And, it's
But you're
probably
doing
trying to
it.
tell me to make it last. That's right. All right, now I have to find you. What are you?
Leo.
I'd love to say something like, of course, but I have no idea.
It's so annoying, but it's all true. It's like I'm so self-absorbed and selfish. It's like really, I want all the attention, but I'm loyal. That's the only positive. I'm loyal.
That is true because we've been friends for like 16 years.
Yeah, it's because of me, because I'm Leo.
That's right. Okay, this is yours. It says, if you've been losing confidence in your intuitive powers, don't. Your faith is about to be restored by an unusual development. When it happens, consult your gut one more time and check in with yourself about how you're thinking and feeling. Either your mind is changing or your gut is. The two will come together with a right answer and a smart plan. You're getting back in the saddle of defining your own destiny.
Oh my God, it's all about the podcast.
It is.
No
It was meant to be.
way.
No fucking way.
No fucking way. That's what it says. What site are you on?
Astrology.com,
Oh yeah. That's a good
the
one.
most reputable source.
Right.
And also a sponsor of the podcast in the future, right? Astrology.com.
Holla.
Remember that was on the list of things we were going to say.
I know. So Deanna accidentally on Instagram sent me, when I told her how many followers we had, she sent me this little GIF of, and it's GIF, not GIF. So if you say GIF,
Yeah.
we're not friends. You don't stop listening right now. Leave. She sent a GIF that said Showtime. It was like sparkly, like show lights, like Broadway lights. And she messaged me after that. She said, "Fuck, I meant to send something. I don't know what you said. You meant to send something else, but it's so sensitive.
Right.
Kias are so sensitive for us 30-year-olds."
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I sent her the Patreon link, and I said, "Showtime. That's going to be our new tagline or whatever." And then I sent her the Patreon link. She said, "Holla." I sent it. I said, "A." I said, "Okay, those are the top 3 things we're not going to say on the podcast." Right. So embarrassing and outdated. Whatever, though. I like it.
Yeah, if you can't tell, we're over 30 years old.
Other 30-year-olds will appreciate it, though. If I said,
They will.
holla, can you imagine saying holla to someone that's 20 right now?
No. They would be like, excuse me?
They would make a TikTok about you. Also, Deanna and I are on TikTok, so go follow us on TikTok, follow our Instagram, go to our Patreon page just to say hey. You don't have to donate, but we know
our business pages.
We know you're dying to. Yeah, our business pages. We're on Facebook. You can
my business page is Deanna Draws, DEANNA Draws.
Deanna really does draw. So if you want a drawing before she gets too famous to respond to you, just put your order in right now. If you're getting married in the near future and you want me to do your hair, you better do it before this podcast blows up because I'll completely ignore you.
I thought you said buried and I was like, you funeral.
Oh my God. When I was in cosmetology school, we went on a field trip to a morgue.
No.
Yeah, and I forget the name of the room, but they showed us the room where they do like the what's it called? The embalming. They showed us every single thing that you do. And then somebody looked up how to be before I knew I wanted to do a wedding hair, and as I was in a salon and hated it and knew I didn't want to work in a salon, before I knew I wanted to do wedding hair, I was like, I want to work at a funeral home. How amazing would that be? All you have to do is like take your business cards to a funeral home.
Yeah.
They just call you. And my friend that does my hair one of two friends that do my hair. She did this like teenage girl that was in a car accident. She did her hair for her funeral.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
I know, but I can't imagine either. But like, I would so do it. And she has her own salon, like her own thing. And I asked her, she was doing my hair and telling me about it because her mother works at a funeral home. And I think they were like family friends. So she called her daughter and she was like, would you be willing to do this? You can absolutely say no. And she's like, yeah, I'll go do it. So she like styled her hair in the, casket or whatever. Isn't that crazy? I would absolutely do that.
I used to think that I would do something with like dead bodies.
Right.
Because I thought like, oh yeah, I could handle it, but I'm not really sure. Like,
But have you ever seen a dead body?
yeah.
You've seen a dead body?
I mean, in a casket at a funeral.
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
You haven't?
No, you're so lucky.
What about these grandparents that die of yours?
I know. When they're like cremated and whenever they turn into trees, all this shit. My mom's stepdad died like 5 years ago, and we drove to Florida for that, but it was closed. Like he just opened it for 5 minutes. Apparently that was rude.
The first dead body I saw, I was probably, I was 10. It was my grandma. And
funeral?
At the funeral, yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? My uncle's wife, who is now also dead, so I can talk about her. She was rubbing her earlobes, and she said something like, "I just love how their ears feel," like talking about dead bodies. And I was like, I'm traumatized.
She was rubbing the dead earlobe?
Yeah.
You can touch them?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to the wrong funerals.
Okay, the next funeral we have where I'm bringing you.
Yeah, I want to go. I've never been to a casket funeral. I think
and then I saw
first off, I would rather go to someone that I don't know for the first one.
Right.
And then if it's like, but both my parents say they want to be cremated. Did you know that they cremate you in a box, like in a cardboard box?
I think I knew that, yeah.
Do you remember that, you know that you listened to the Dirty John podcast, right?
Right, yeah.
So whenever the first wife that he had, whenever they were cremating his body, they let her come in and watch it, and she recorded it. And I found it on YouTube, and he's in this like cardboard box. What's the point of the box? I didn't know that why don't they just like put you, he was in like a big cardboard box that looked kind of like a,
know.
Why don't they just put you in?
I'm not sure.
I thought that was crazy. I didn't know that. I guess I never thought about it, but.
See, the second one I saw was my mom's dad, I think. So my grandfather, my papa. And then after that was my sister, actually. That was
casket?
Horrible, yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that was pretty traumatizing. And for anyone listening, yes, I'm in therapy.
I don't think I would have gone. Right. I don't think I would have gone to that one.
I had to.
If my sister died and they said they were having an open casket funeral, I would be like rioting out front, saying, "No, you're not."
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I saw my grandfather on my dad's side, and I saw my mom die in the hospital. I was actually there when she died.
Yeah.
But she got cremated, so we didn't have like an open casket funeral or anything.
Yeah.
So that's the depressing history of all the dead bodies.
That's Deanna's family tree. It's fine. We got away in episode 1. Look,
right? Yeah.
Talk about it again if you don't want to.
All of Dina's trauma and.
Oh my God. The closest I've ever been to anything like that is when did you ever meet our golden retriever? I don't think so. I think she died before.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Died like when I was in 7th grade, the first time.
The first time.
But my parents told us we were leaving that morning that, and we had her for like 13 years. And my parents told us, like, she's not going to be here when you get home. And we're like, okay, bye. And we went home. And then our bus dropped us off. And I saw we had a minivan, this like red Ford Astro van. And it was parked, the house we lived in when I was in middle school and high school. It was parked way up in the back of the yard. And so I was like, what the hell's going on back there? And so I walked back there and I peek around the side of the van. And my dad had just finished burying the dog. And he was on his knees. And he had just put over like the final top layer of dirt. And he like fell into the dirt and started crying.
Oh, no.
And he didn't know that I was standing there. And he still to this day doesn't know that I was standing there. When I saw that, I ran into the house. And I was like, okay, I had never seen my dad cry. I think I was like 13 or something like that. And he was like alone doing his own private thing. And I peeked around and saw him. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go cut myself.
Well, Daddy Caps, if you're listening to the pod.
He'll never listen, but I feel like my mom will probably tell him.
Yeah.
It was the first time I felt like pain in my chest. Like awful to see like a grown man cry over a dog, which I'm not saying over a dog. I'm saying like his dog, Oh my God. It was enough.
Yeah. I think that like I thought I would do something with like dead bodies. Like I thought I wanted to be like an embalmer or something like that. Even like after I saw a few dead bodies of people that I knew until I saw my sister. And then after that, it kind of fucked me up and I didn't really want to have anything to do with it anymore after that.
I mean, definitely. That's what I thought about doing like hair and makeup on corpses. I'm like, surely if it's someone that I don't know, someone I've never seen before, or someone whose name I don't even know, is like worlds different than doing a relative, much less someone like your neighbor or,
I think you also look at it differently once it is someone close to you. Like, I think you look at dead bodies differently after that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I still want to see one.
Well, I'll let you know the next time.
That's so funny.
Yeah, you'll come as my +1.
Maybe I'll just go to my next local funeral.
Yeah, I mean, it's posted in a newspaper.
I'm trying to get out of the house more. So I'll just drive by. I'll just look at the obituary section and just drive by my local churches.
Yeah. No one will know.
Yeah. No one's going to ask me what I'm doing there if I'm crying.
I'll be like, this was my favorite person in the world.
Or I just walk away crying.
Yes.
And they'll think we're really close, so I won't have to say anything. Okay. So this has been what, like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Are we about to hit 2 hours? So every episode
an hour and 45 minutes.
That's it. Crazy. But some of the beginning stuff you can cut out. But there was some good at the beginning.
That's right.
Some not appropriate that you can definitely cut.
Right.
Oh, like us,
anything.
Like us, subscribe us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your mom, tell your grandmothers, tell your sisters, tell your brothers, tell everyone.
Tell your dad.
Follow us tell your dad. We like dads.
And dads, please give to us on Patreon.
Dads, please. That's our next sticker. Dads, please.
Yes.
If you donate $3 a month to our Patreon, we're going to send you a sticker. Now a Dads Please sticker.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, rate, review, follow, email. Just like us, please just like us.
DM us. Tell us how great we were.
I like us so much, but I'm a Leo, so of course I like us.
I'm a Sagittarius. I don't really know what that means for me other than I'm adventurous and I feel like continuing the pod.
I'm a self-absorbed Leo, so please like us and tell all your friends.
Yes, please do.
Okay.
All right, that's it for the pod.
That's it. Episode 1, Down the Hatch. Oh my God.
Right.
Can I tell you a funny story really fast?
Yeah.
When I worked at, you know where I worked at? I don't know if I can say it. Can I say where I previously worked if I'm never going back there?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so when I worked at Chateau Lalanne.
No.
So I always became like good friends with the managers. It was just a thing. But our first manager was this like super young girl, Kendra. So we got along really well. And whenever we would leave and close down at the end of the night, we would go into the main hotel to like drop our money. But it was just in this little like mailbox kind of thing, this little chute, this little like sliver chute with this metal door. And so you'd have to drop down your paperwork and your like cash in for the night. So whenever we were training someone new, we would be like, okay, there's a lady that works like downstairs in the basement. So you have to yell down to her where you are coming from and where you work, which that's not true. So whenever we would train someone, we would be like, okay, Patty's, which is the Irish pub that's there, you know, we'd be like, Patty's down the hatch, and we would drop our money. So we would tell them to do it first. When we were training someone to be like, okay, drop off your money and your savings, and you have to yell like Patty's Irish Pub down the hatch and yell the amount. And they would go up to this hole and yell. It would be like 3:00 in the morning when the bar would close. I'm like, what accounting person do you think is in the basement of this resort, like waiting for your envelope to drop? Oh my God, it was so funny. Okay, so
That's so funny.
Hey, no fucking way, episode 1, Down the Hatch.
That's right. That has to be our sign off from now.
Oh my God, we would laugh so hard. I'm gonna make Kendra listen to this so she remembers. It's so hilarious. I'm gonna make everyone listen to this.
She's gonna be like, where's the funny part?
Or everyone that I'm friends with on social media that had trained there before and worked there for any amount of time, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? I started that today.
I trained people after me to do that. What the hell?
Right. Wait, that's not a thing? We don't have to do that? Okay. Is it over?
Yeah, I think it
Are we still recording?
Yeah, but I can cut it after this. So bye everybody.
Bye.
Okay, how do you think it went?
I think better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I think so too.